When you are chased by Xenos, you can only hope that the big and armored dreadnought is passing by and is able to deal with them swiftly and justly. So when JOYTOY announced the Furioso Dreadnought re-release, I immediately pre-ordered mine, and it has finally arrived. Was it worth the wait? Let's find out. Time for our unknown brother to awake from his blessed slumber within the box and come back to serve the Emperor of the Shelves. And here it is, in all of its glorious stubbiness. Being wider than taller has never been so fascinating. When I began learning about 40k, this dreadnought design stood out to me. Absurd as well as cool, which is a common feeling with many of these figures. There is nothing to assemble, what we see is what we get, and there are no missing or detached parts either, as well as evident painting defects. Awesome. Mandatory look to the different sides of this chunky boy, and the original miniature design was already great, but I must say that this Blood Angels rendition of the Furioso is amazing. The paint job makes a heavy use of shading over the dark red, with gunmetal parts like the exhaust and internal mechanical parts. Dry brushing is also present over these bare metal parts, while the gold rim looks quite flat. Overall, the look is amazing. You can't expect ninja poses, of course, but let's be honest, if you get these, it's for the look, not for the acrobatics. JOYTOY has released several dreadnought variants in the past, like the twin last cannons for the ultramarines, but I have a weak spot for autocannons, so I would love to see in the future another variant using it instead of dual claws. Do you remember the Dawn of War trailer? Well, we can always dream about it. In the meanwhile, we can play with these articulated finger claws. You can grab small objects, but they do not appear to extend outwards, so no way you can grab Terminators, but normal 118 figures should be no problem. The articulations for the arms are okay given the original miniature design, so you can rotate the shoulder, but there is not much to do for the elbow because of the bulkiness of those armor plates. So, in order to aim the heavy flamer and the dual heavy bolter under the forearms, you must practically straight the arms. Those short legs can certainly bend a bit, again limited by the big armor plates in the front, but there are no impediments with the hip joints instead. You can extend them sideways a few degrees, but it is not the same strong point. All joints are ratcheted with nice clack sound that ensures the solidity of the pose in the next years, small satisfactions for collectors. The feet can also move freely, and they have some nice pistons that actually move together with the feet. This is a neat detail that I always appreciate with any mecha design. And of course, you can rotate the torso 360 degrees, like a tank turret if you want. And a bit of leaning forward too. But besides that, you will often find yourself struggling trying to hug your chapter brothers with these short and bulky arms. There are movable plates on the pauldron sides that can help with lateral raise, but it will never make you scream for miracles. What you have got is a chunky boy with a cool look and a limited ability to move, and since it is so grimdark cute, this is all I need to bring some happiness on the shelves. It is not a tall guy, being about 20 centimeters tall, depending if you consider the smoke dischargers or not, but it has a lot of details all around, like with the Furioso labels and the Blood Angels iconography in all places. I then love those metal rivets around the various armor plates on the front. They give our cybernetic coffin a cool steampunk look that is enhanced by the big exhaust on the back. Sadly, the holes are not fully drilled, but the result is still very pleasant for the eye. The tubings are made of soft plastic and model like metal flexibles. They seem to have been properly glued, and time will tell, I guess. I only found a few minor painting defects, but in general it has a very good manufacturing quality. It feels sturdy when posing it, but again it won't be a champion in gymnastics on your shelves. The heavy flamer and bolter attached under the arms look tiny compared to the general size, but they can still deal some substantial damage to heretics. I'm sure of that. And I'm sure that nobody will be surprised when we also confirm that the Furioso is quite smaller than a Redemptor. It really looks like a classic case of taking your kid to school. Besides the difference in dimension, the painting job is also different. Where the Furioso has a dark shading all around, the imperialfist Redemptor has a more premium finish, which includes highlights and chipping effects, something that JOYTOY almost completely stopped doing. Yet, that lovely aura of grimdark walking coffin is evident in both designs, and their styles are quite unique in their own ways. Where the Furioso can finally take over the side's competition is when comparing it to good old brother Davinos on the right and the custom Captain Voltian in Terminator armor on the left. And of course, burling 118 figures is no-brainer for our little and cute Dreadnought. Time to wrap the review up and get into the conclusions. If you like the design, then you need to get it, since it is the most Warhammer of all Warhammer designs. There is a great construction quality, the paint job is great, and you have room for playing with your favorite poses. With reason, of course. And how could you resist to the urge of looking into Death's lid and try to match the eyes of that proud warrior that even in death still serves? In the end, I'm quite happy with the design, and it matches all of my expectations without any drawbacks. If you are a Blood Angels fan, you cannot miss it, but even if you are not, the design is so cool that regrets will happen if you don't get it. Having said that, I wish you a nice rest of the day trying to put your little brother back to sleep.